So the main theme of my presentation today is commerce, multi-channel, multi-device, and mobile innovation. So let's start with commerce. 40 years ago, payments was the constraint of commerce. This changed with innovation, from paper to electronic, from cash to cards, and more recently, through the mobile wallet. During these years, progress in payments drove progress in commerce. Today, though, with the focus on the consumer, advancements in payments are changing the way we shop. And multi-channel is a great example of this. So as the pie chart shows here, up until fairly recently, consumers, retailers, and us as providers used to look at offline and online very differently, as two separate channels with two very different experiences. This has changed, though, and it's changed as a result of one major enabler, and this is technology. Today, in our connected worlds, offline and online commerce boundaries are blurring. Increasingly, online purchases, as the slide shows, are being influenced by social networks, by how we connect across multiple channels and also by multiple devices. Through product reviews, price comparison sites, there's multiple touch points now in a single purchase. And what we also do is not exclusive to any one channel or any one device. In the future, we expect things to be even more fluid between offline and online through technology innovations in store and actually new services like click and collect, driving convenience to the consumer. Many, though, look at technology and payments in isolation, on the web, online, or on the high street. That's niche but nice and really loses the point. Commerce today is all about connecting consumers and retailers anytime, anywhere, and on any device. There's four major trends that are really impacting and driving this change. And the acronym SOLO-MO has been coined by John Doerr to describe this. So social, local, and mobile. So let's start with mobile. Mobile allows you to be active at any location and also to be connected to your entire social graph, so their views, opinions, and also their recommendations. The UK's mobile population is growing rapidly, and so is mobile commerce as a result of technical innovations through mobile apps, and also retailers understanding that they need to gear their experiences to different devices and different operating systems. With 13 years' experience moving money in the cloud, PayPal has an active base of consumers that are transacting online, and we're seeing these consumers increasingly move to mobile. Since our first mobile transaction in 2006, this growth has been absolutely explosive. So last year, PayPal processed over $4 billion worth of mobile payment globally. That was 5x up the previous year, and this year we expect to process $7 billion worth of mobile payment volume. So mobile payments today are an absolute reality and driving commerce. If we look at local, in our shopping showcase, we're showing how PayPal can help consumers connect with retailers through hyperlocal targeted offers to drive footfall into stores. But driving footfall into stores is actually only one part of local. Another part of local is how mobile can connect with offers to enable consumers to look and influence the purchase in that store. Increasingly, people are browsing in stores on their mobile phone, looking at price comparison sites. And for a growing number of them, they're leaving that store to walk elsewhere on the high street or purchase online through their phones. So the opportunity when we combine local with mobile, and actually potentially social, is to enable the consumer to influence the purchase price there and then and buy it locally. Social media is already well established, but we think it will have an increasing impact over the next years. Social does have a role to play as a payment channel, but the biggest impact we believe social will have will be as an influencer. Social will give consumers the ability to influence the purchase price for themselves, but also for their network. All of us like a personal recommendation much more than a recommendation from someone we don't know. So with the ease of sharing purchases, sending offers to friends, social networks provide the ideal vehicle for the socialization of commerce. I'm just going to show you a short film next to highlight how PayPal today is helping to blur online and offline channels through technology advancements, specifically on mobile.
The feeling when we lift off, watching the world so small below. I love the dreaming when I think of the safety in the clouds out my window. I wonder what keeps us so high up. Could there be love beneath these wings? If we suddenly fall, should I scream out? Or keep very quiet and cling to my mouth as I'm crying, so frightened of dying? Relax, yes, I'm trying, but fear's got a hold on me. Yes, this fear's got a hold on me. Yes, this fear's got a hold on me. I love the quiet of the nighttime, when the sun is drowned in a deathly sea. I can feel my heart beating as I speed from the sense of time catching up with me. The sky set out like a pathway.
Okay, so I hope that film demonstrates that mobile innovation in payments is happening today. All of the examples that were shown in the film are actually live. So consumers are interacting with their mobile devices in mobile-specific experiences that enable the blurring of the offline and online channels. So why are we doing this? In simple terms, we're doing this because our retail partners and consumers are demanding this. They're demanding innovation. We're witnessing a massive change in commerce, whether it be offline, online, mobile, in-store, multi-channel, in domestic markets and global. This is a massive phenomenon and it's growing at a rapid pace. It's been called, and we call it, blurring of the lines. And in many senses it is a blur, because who knows what's going to happen across the rest of this year, let alone 5 years' time. I've been in payments a long time, and mobile technology. I've been in payments a long time, and as I said right at the very beginning, I don't think it's payments that's really enabling this innovation. It's really the overall consumer experience that is really driving this innovation. The need to make these payment experience richer, quicker, simpler, and more flexible. And as PayPal, we very much want to be a part of this. Recently, eBay and Columino Research did some analysis of the market to try and help explain some of this phenomenon that are taking place. And they coined the phrase the purchasing pathway. The slide here is from the Centre of Retail Studies and is a visual representation of that research. The purchasing pathway is a basic process in terms of how consumers interact in that pathway. If we look at the traditional model, the purchasing pathway used to be a very simple sequential process. Maybe consumers had one or two touch points along that purchasing pathway that ultimately resulted in a purchase. But that's changed. That's changed quite dramatically in recent years, thanks to new technologies and actually consumers demanding better. So what we're seeing now is a very much more of a fragmented pathway with consumers having multiple touch points along this journey, with mobile, on the high street or online, a real true blurring of the lines. 10 years ago, the average consumer would maybe have about, on average, 2 touch points in that pathway, and only about and only 7% of consumers regularly used over 3 touch points. The research predicts that in just 2 years' time, the average consumer will have 4 touch points in that purchasing pathway, and over 50% of consumers will have 3. So this is having a dramatic impact in terms of how consumers interact with payment schemes, with the retailers along that journey. Some of the conclusions that we've drawn from the research is that we need to think much more about touch points rather than channels. Channels simply are where effectively the purchase ends and happens, whereas touch points are very much where the consumer becomes engaged as part of that process. And those touch points can include social, they can include coupons, they can include many, many different things. So the engagement model is much more fluid. So as the number of touch points will increase along the purchasing pathway, this will also this will mean that creating a consistent, cohesive brand image across all of the touch points and across all the journey becomes much more challenging. And it's critical that the payment experience is relevant to each of these touch points as well. And then finally, more touch points will actually mean that the duration of the purchasing pathway of the process will actually increase. And this will have 2 implications. First of all, consumers will have more opportunity to change their minds. And secondly, it will mean that for retailers, their competitors will actually have more opportunity to change that consumer's mind. So let's tie back consumers and touch points back to the wallet. Technology is enabling consumers to have a store in their pocket and a digital wallet on their phone. In our traditional wallets, we're all likely to have a number of these different things in our wallet, or actually more likely in the drawer at home, because we don't want our wallets bulging. So for example, we'll have loyalty points, we maybe have a shopping list, we maybe have printed some coupons or vouchers. All of these things are designed to make our shopping experience at our favourite retailers more rewarding. But unfortunately, far too often they disappoint. For example, if you're looking at buying a particular goods, you've got a coupon or you've got your loyalty rewards at home, you turn up in the store and you realise you haven't got that coupon. You've got a decision to make. Do I purchase or do I go back home and try and get that coupon? It can result in a big suboptimal experience. As a consumer as well, I want to engage across all of the channels and all of the different touch points. And I also want to make sure that the value-added services can be redeemed or accrued across all of those touch points. So put simply, traditional payment paradigms, traditional value-added services don't really work in our new connected world. So the answer is really, as we see it, the digital wallet. The digital wallet allows for a rich consumer experience across multiple channels, and we can also build in more value-added services, such as wish lists, post a wish list into your favourite retailer, or share it with your network to enable them to purchase for you. The digital wallet then can also be expressed through mobile devices to enabling payment through any channel. Some of the factors to take into account when looking at digital wallets are: what's the value to the consumer? What's the retailer business value proposition? And actually, what's the value to what's the overall business model? For the consumer, we've got to think, what's in it for me as a consumer to change how I pay today? If we just narrowly focus on payments or narrowly focus on, coupon redemption, then that's not going to be enough. It won't be enough to change consumer behavior. The other consideration as a consumer is, who do I trust with my financial details? As more and more apps appear or wallets are launched into the marketplace, the consumer's got a really big decision to make in terms of who they trust with their financial details. And we all know that, securely, information, managing cards, etc., is a tough and difficult business. For the retailer, there's no point building a digital wallet or working with a digital wallet provider or building multiple apps if no one's going to use them. To drive a change in consumer behavior, there needs to be a ubiquitous solution. And it's unlikely that there's going to be many brands, both retailer and also financial, that will be able to sustain a digital wallet. And finally, on the business model, the key thing to both the consumer and also the retailer is how we're going to demonstrate value. How are we going to demonstrate value to change their behavior? And, and it's important that we also look at both sides of the equation, as I said, both consumer and merchant, and not look at them in isolation. At PayPal, we believe that PayPal is the only service provider that can sit on top of these fragmented financial systems, value-added service providers, and mobile networks, and add value. We will enable the connection of retailers with consumers, remove friction points through the purchasing pathway, through simplicity and convenience. So think of PayPal as a universal adapter for payments. On the internet, on the mobile phone, on the high street. For the consumer, it's a digital wallet in the cloud where any device can be the delivery mechanism, meaning consumers can pay with a payment method of their choice, whether that be credit, debit card, private label card, or store balance, and so on. But this isn't new to us. 42 million consumers already trust PayPal as their digital wallet provider. I just want to tie back some things to the film I showed earlier and highlight how we're supporting mobile innovation. So first of all, click and collect on the UK high street is growing. We're supporting QR shopping in both Germany and in Singapore, where you can simply scan an encrypted QR code and result in a payment through PayPal. At Pizza Express, across 370 stores in the UK, we're enabling pay at table. So no longer do you have to hunt down a payment terminal during busy periods to pay and walk out the restaurant. And in McDonald's in France, you can order your McDonald's, your Big Mac on a mobile phone on the move, pay with PayPal and pick it up in the restaurant. Starbucks is also a good example of how it's possible to have a mobile payment sit on your hands with a mobile app. Since Starbucks launched the app, I think in 2011, over 42 million transactions have taken place. The experience is simple. Download the app, top up your virtual prepaid card in the US through PayPal, and then scan to pay. What Starbucks has also demonstrated is that mobile proximity payments don't just equal NFC. There are other ways, and barcode is an existing technology that enables that connection between the mobile phone and the ePOS through a mobile device. Also, one of the main advantages of barcode payments is that you don't require massive terminal upgrades and complex integrations to take advantage of mobile proximity payments. So then just to start to wrap up, we announced just nearly 4 weeks ago that PayPal is coming to the UK High Street. So on May 30th, we launched PayPal in store with 4 retailers across the UK, so Oasis, Coast, Karen Millen, and Warehouse. And this really is the start of how we're enabling our consumers to connect with retailers across multiple channels. So both online, both through the mobile web, and also now through the high street. So I just want to finish and just show you a short film of what the experience is.
You can now use your mobile to pay for items on the high street with PayPal. Finally, you can leave your wallet in your pocket and enjoy the convenience of paying for items on your mobile phone. And you can also receive discounts to use in store. Mobile payments is all about convenience and shaping the shopping experience around you, the shopper. Like you to pay for something you've chosen when you can pay for it anywhere in the store. When using PayPal on the high street, you can purchase an item right there and there with an iPad and a scan acting as a till. Or if you're paying at the till, simply hold up your phone and the cashier will scan the barcode or key in the unique number below the barcode. So here's exactly what you need to do to get set up to pay with PayPal on the high street. The PayPal in-store app is available to download for iPhone and Android now. Once you've downloaded it, go into the app, link your PayPal account and create a secure PIN for this app. Now you're ready to go shopping. To pay, all you do is open your app, type in your PIN, select Pay in Store, and a barcode will appear. If there is an offer available at the store you're shopping in, it will show up on the app. Once you've accepted the offer, it will be automatically redeemed, so no need to rummage around for paper vouchers and printouts. Simply show your phone to the shop assistant and they will scan the barcode displayed on your phone, or key in the unique number below the barcode. Easy as that. Any offers will be automatically deducted from the total.
Thank you ever so much.